Welcome to my review of the Merlin Edale II jacket. This is a beautiful jacket that's steeped in 15th century technology with a little bit of 21st century technology. The 15th century technology comes courtesy of Halle Stevenson's, possibly the name when it comes to waxed cotton. They've been around since 1864 and they have over 150 years worth of expertise when it comes to the material. So if you're looking for quality in the material, this is where it's going to be. It does feel like a Barber jacket or an armored Barber jacket. Realistically, this is not a long-term touring jacket, and I really urge you to reconsider if this is going to be your first motorcycle jacket. It looks nice, but you have to keep in mind that the exterior, your primary line of defense in inclement weather, especially rain, is going to be 15th century technology. That's waxed cotton. And after 20 minutes, it starts to soak through. It no longer beads up, which means that a lot of the heavy-duty lifting is going to be on the Texland Humax 15K 10K waterproof breathable membrane. Not a bad rating, but that's only going to keep you dry for about 2 to 3 hours. There's more 21st century technology in the NASA-based Outlast temperature regulating insert, which is basically microscopic wax capsules that either retain heat or release heat based on your body's temperature. A vented liner on the inside once you remove the thicker liner, and that's going to allow some air to flow through. But I should tell you that when you do remove that internal liner, you're taking away some of the thickness of the jacket, and you're going to feel like you're swimming inside of the jacket. It's got D3O armor at the elbows and the shoulders and the back, and at the bottom you've got a zipper that you can undo and then zip into your trousers or your khakis or your motorcycle jeans. That way you have a little bit of connection between the jacket and the pants, and it won't ride up as much. You are going to have to layer with this jacket. So if you think that this is going to work for you in the spring or in the summer, you should probably size down. That bungee is a pain in the butt. So what I had to do is cinch up around the mid-waist a little bit, and that bungee now gets caught on just about every single doorknob that I ever walk past when my jacket's open. So I would suggest that once you get it to where you like it, give yourself a couple of inches so that your belly can expand after you've had your sandwich and soda, and then trim it down, tie it off, and be done with it. Otherwise, the internal of this jacket is fairly basic. There's really not a whole lot more going on to it. The fit feels okay when it comes to the arms. I didn't find myself having to use any of the snaps. I also didn't find myself really having to adjust it too much except for the cinch at the mid-waist. The collar is very nice. It's plush. It has a nice feel to it. Nothing exceptional about it. But again, this is a heritage jacket, so all of the technology should be pretty explanatory within the name. I think when you're talking about bike fitment, it's important that you realize that the bike that you're wearing is largely going to determine how comfortable you are on this. I ride a 2018 Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster, and for me this feels okay. It's got a pooch on the belly though, and I'm not too happy about that. I would have liked to have seen a zipper that can open up at the bottom, just so on some of the drier and warmer days I could get a little bit more ventilation in there, and also it didn't feel like it rode up so much. But it is what it is, and I have to live with it. And it effectively makes those bottom two pockets pretty unusable for me. So I'm not putting my phone in there. I don't know that I'm going to put any documents in there, maybe some keys. I think probably those pockets are more functional for when you're off the bike more than anything else. It's a nice flexible jacket, but again, we're talking about waxed cotton. It's not a nylon. It's not going to be a stiffer jacket that might need to get broken in. It doesn't have any relief or gussets, so you're really not looking at any additional mobility needs provided to the jacket. I do like the way that it feels when I'm off the bike as well. I think that's important, especially if you're going to be walking around. When you're on the bike and you're going head first into the wind, it feels like you're wearing a blanket. I think that you're going to be comfortable in this jacket if you're in 60-degree Fahrenheit to 70-degree Fahrenheit. I think if you're in 40 to 50, you're definitely going to want to have a base layer on. Definitely going to have a light sweater on, and you're definitely going to be having a puffy vest underneath. Coincidentally, I am wearing a puffy vest, a light sweater, and a base layer under this jacket. I'm 190 pounds, I'm fairly fit, and I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm wearing a large in this. I felt that it was a bit bigger when I first bought it initially. After 2 or 3 days of wearing it, I felt like it was a little bit more comfortable for me, especially when I found out how I was going to be using it. The pockets on the front, I guess they're okay. They work well when you're talking about 21st century waterproof technology, but like I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't know what I'm going to be putting in that pocket if they're effectively unusable when they bunch up around my waist. Did have to cinch up the waist pretty tightly. I like the look of the jacket. I like the feel of the jacket. I like the way that it wears off of the bike as well as on the bike, except for the little pooch area. The coolest new addition for the Edale II is the game pocket that they put on the back of the jacket. You typically find this with barber coats, but in this case, the manufacturers have put it there for our gloves. I'm going to make use of this all the time, and I think that this is a great pocket to even store a rain shell if you want to put it on the back instead of putting it in your saddlebags, or if you don't want to carry a saddlebag. Definitely like to see this on more jackets. It's not waterproof and it's not zipped, so I suppose the manufacturer's mentality is that we don't need to store anything back there that needs to stay waterproof or dry. They've also removed the 12-inch horizontal zip that allowed air to vent between your shoulder blades and replaced that with two 6-inch verticals underneath either of your shoulders. So you need to decide before you get on the bike if you want to open those. Otherwise, you're going to have to get off the bike because it's impossible to do it while you're on the bike. Merlin have also relocated the button that used to go over top of the zip at the cuff and have now moved it off to the side. So sometimes when you work your wrist, the zipper will actually come undone. We'll see how that works for us in the future. Otherwise, enjoy your traditionalist jacket.